What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe as you come into the channel. Check out the content. And with that being said, man, I wanna talk about this. Michael Jordan coming back to NBC this fall, and man, get ready. It's gonna be the big payback. I'm just sitting in here listening to James Brown, a big payback, and it's about to get serious, man. Because this is not, in my opinion, this is like a calculated, uh, this is like a strategic uh comeback by Michael Jordan. And it's not even just about Michael Jordan. It's about the NBA, it's about the sponsors and everything. This is a serious move, Michael Jordan coming back and commentating, right? So let me just say that Michael Jordan probably, and I don't even think this was just Michael Jordan's idea. Because if you notice, Michael Jordan never really get into that GOAT debate. He never really comment about like the state of the NBA, what's going on right now. But I think, so maybe some higher ups, and I think like the NBA and like I said, some of the sponsors and probably Nike is coming and saying, man, the state of the NBA is not, is not what not where it need to be. And so I'm gonna give my what I think about like what's going on with this, right? And so from Michael Jordan's, I think, perspective, Michael Jordan really cared about the game of basketball, right? So let me start by saying that he really cared about the game of basketball. When and while Michael Jordan played, he's always been like a great ambassador for the game. Even when they used to, he was on the Olympic team, and they went and played in the Olympics, and he represented the game the way he needed to. Just the way he carried himself throughout his career in the NBA, everybody knew that Mike was passionate about the game, and he put everything he had into the NBA up until his retirement. I think he retired in '03. So Mike, uh, he loved the game, and he really probably is concerned about like the way the game is turning out, right? And the quality of the play that we're seeing on the court. So that's what he have in common with probably like the NBA. The NBA, from a money standpoint, everybody know that the views are down, and the views are down is because fans like myself are bored with the game. You're seeing no defense. You're seeing guys take a whole bunch of 3-pointers. You're seeing guys who act like they really don't care about the game. They're not ambassadors for the game. And so why would the NBA care about that, right? The NBA have to care about that is because the reason they have to care about that is because the NFL is breathing down their neck, right? So NFL is taking a lot of, like, especially like All-Star week. The NFL is a better draw on All-Star week than the NBA, and in years past, it's never really been like that, and so they don't like sharing that piece of the pie with the NFL if they don't have to, so they lose money when people not watching. People would prefer to watch football, like when those two seasons merge during that time, like around in the fall. People mostly watching football, and basketball is not really a big draw. The NBA is not really a bigger draw until like after Christmas, right? The New Year. So they losing money like that. And then with the sponsors, say like the sponsors like Nike, when Michael Jordan, with the sponsors, look, with the sponsor like Michael Jordan, for instance, uh Mike make a lot of money for Nike, right? Mike makes more money, or well, he sells more merch than Kevin Durant, Steph Curry and LeBron James combined. And so, although Steph Curry is Under Armour, but still, all those guys combined might sell more merch than them, right? And so, with viewers down, and then like then Nike is not making that money like they wanted to, or like they should or need to. That's that's why Nike has a vested interest in the NBA being more successful than it is too. Michael Jordan did that. What was it? That Last Dance. What was the documentary? I think it was like in 2020 or 2022, something like that. And that Last Dance documentary drew a lot of people, and a lot of people was watching it. And so just imagine what's going to happen when Mike come back in the fall and he just doing some commentating about basketball and trying to, and I don't even think Michael Jordan really needs to and he probably won't like go at LeBron personally or make comments about LeBron, but Mike is probably his commentary is probably more so going to be based on like how he thinks the game should be played. And that's where I think that's really all he need to do to really to disrupt LeBron James' legacy and to put another spin on it. Basketball can't afford to let what's going on now continue. The NBA can't do it. The sponsors can't do it. And so I think that's why they're bringing Mike back in, so Mike can right this ship. I want to play some audio, and then I'm gonna give my comments on what these guys had to say about their opinions on Michael Jordan coming back and commentating on the games.
Why now for Michael Jordan? He's a billionaire. He's, incredibly successful at everything he's done, from, obviously basketball, but to apparel, to everything else. So why now is, I think, what's the most interesting part of this. And I've got a theory on this. I don't know if it's a conspiracy theory. Maybe we could play Robert's bet. But in our minds, I think we all three agree Michael Jordan's the greatest of all time in basketball. Fair enough?
Yeah.
Fair. Okay. That's not necessarily how everyone sees it, though. There's a lot of people who try to make the case for maybe a couple other guys that are out there. One in particular that's still playing. Although those days of LeBron James still playing are probably coming to an end. And what do you think LeBron's going to want to do after he's done? Do you think he's just going to want to fade off into the sunset?
Oh, I see where you're...
Never to be heard again?
Yeah.
I think this is a GOAT move by the GOAT in Michael Jordan to jump ahead of where I think LeBron James would want to be at some point in time. And if you are the GOAT and you are the authoritative figure where you are on a major network like this, you are a part of the broadcast, the coverage, it's going to speak volumes. And it's going to be able to give him that platform. And not saying that he doesn't have the ability to throw something out on X or any other social media platform, but this provides him the opportunity around the NBA schedule to be the voice, that one voice as far as the GOAT, ahead of LeBron James, if and when he retires and if and when he wants to get into TV, which I do think there will be a desire to do so. Because LeBron James likes trying to control the narrative. In this case, can't really control the narrative because no one's going to want to listen to him as much as they will Michael Jordan, in my opinion.
It's a hell of a
well played
a thought process there.
Give a round of applause. That makes sense.
I mean, you'd have to believe that LeBron James is going to be on a full court press media trail,
without a doubt,
forever once he retires.
Why now?
All right, so I'm going to comment. All right, so I think it's a good strategy, for Michael Jordan to come out and beat LeBron James to the punch as far as, controlling the narrative about it. LeBron James has always been like, I'm the king. I felt like I was the greatest ever, especially when he won that championship for the Cleveland Cavaliers, right? So now this will give Michael Jordan and Nike and I'm telling you, is this his comeback, Michael Jordan's comeback, to NBC really benefits the NBA. It's going to benefit the NBA. It's going to benefit the sponsors because everything is down. If the sponsors are spending so much money on promoting that NBA product and then viewership go down, they're going to take they're going to take those dollars away from the NBA and they're going to put them into soccer is gaining popularity in the United States. Hockey is really, a lot of people, hockey is gaining more of a following. Other sports, football is taking a piece of that pie, so they really have to up the level of play in the NBA if they want to maintain good relationships with these sponsors. And so Michael Jordan coming out, like I said, benefits the NBA, it benefits the Nike, it benefits the sponsors, including Nike, and it benefits him. So that's really going to be tough on LeBron James, right? Because LeBron James can't go on another network and making excuses and talking about it's only basketball. They were and then when they lose a series, he would say something like, you got to think there's 8 other players out there on the court, not just me, not just me and Luka. There's eight other guys. The game, fans don't want to hear that. Sponsors don't want to hear that. And so he won't be able to, LeBron James will not be able to run with that narrative if you have Michael Jordan on a whole nother network just telling people how the game needs to be played. And he don't have to go directly at LeBron James, but his mindset and his thinking about the game of basketball completely contradicts LeBron James's mindset and his thinking of the game of basketball. And so this move right here is going to be big. Even like current basketball players like what was Dame Lillard said that when he went to that function that they had for the 75 greatest basketball players of all time, and he saw like the reception that Michael Jordan got from other guys who played and was, like guys that he looked up to, like Magic and Bird, and those guys who played in the eras before him, and like he said, man, he never seen anything like it. It was like Mike was a god or something. The way those guys just, Dr. J, you talking about some big wheels, and these guys was just, they just was in awe of Michael Jordan. Not really in awe, but I'm just saying, these guys really dig Michael Jordan because of the way, his career was, the way he played the game. So, man, it's going to be I think this right here will also spur a different type of play. Like take the Houston Rockets, for instance, right? Although they got knocked out in the first round, I think their style of play in the basketball is good for basketball. They play physical. They play at both ends of the court. They don't try to give up a whole bunch of easy baskets. And so you got this new crop of ball players that's playing like the old school basketball players used to play. Also the same thing with the OKC Thunder. They play both ends of the court. They play tough defense. You got guys on his teams that have mid-range. They move good without the basketball. So you're starting to see these younger teams go back to that old school style of playing in basketball. When LeBron James fades out, Kevin Durant fades out, and Steph Curry to a certain extent, when those guys phase out, I think that, that era right there, that experiment is going to be over with. That player empowerment that LeBron James ushered in really didn't work for the NBA. The quality of play has gone down with that player empowerment and LeBron James leading the way with his mindset on basketball. I want to listen to another audio of a guy. I'm trying to think, who was this? No, this is from Jason Whitlock. And so let me see what Jason Whitlock and one of his co-hosts had to say about Michael Jordan coming back and what he thinks is going to happen.
Be some sort of contributor on NBC's NBA coverage next season. I was talking with TJ Moe this morning. He thinks it's a huge mistake that Michael is risking his legacy. Why? There's a mystery to Michael. He doesn't say much. Why subject yourself? Why come out of character and join the talking heads? My position is like, he's going to be a contributor. I don't think he's going to be some regular. I'm sure they're paying him $50 million to probably come on air once a month. And, now Michael's got his pocket change for his gambling addiction. And, his wife can't complain about it either. Baby, look, this is just the pocket change NBC gives me, $50 million a year. That's what I'm blowing gambling. Quit complaining. I just don't see a way for him to say no. Do you have expectations that he'll do a?
Now, I like this guy's commentary on Michael Jordan.
It's difficult to say or to quantify like what is good. Like, we're talking semantics here. Tom Brady, obviously, it has not been good in broadcasting since he left the field as the greatest player in that sports history. So I don't know if he'll be good or bad per se, but I think it will be highly entertaining. I know I will be hanging on any appearance that he makes. I think this is a brilliant move by NBC. NBC, who I grew up with NBC being like the marquee platform for the NBA. They lost rights in 2002. Jordan retired in 2003. So NBC's been out of the game for about as long as Jordan has, because like you said, he has been very private and pretty much closed off from the public eye and certainly the NBA's eye. So this is a clever move, I think, by NBC. And really, doesn't everybody want to see what the GOAT, the real GOAT, the true one and only GOAT, Michael Jeffrey Jordan, what he has to say about this pitiful era and these players that have flushed his once great product down the toilet? Don't we all want to see what he has to say about LeBron James next season, possibly? I know this is going to be absolute captivating TV. Anytime he's on, I think ratings will spike, and NBC's back. The GOAT's back. It's a good day, I think, yesterday in the NBA with that announcement.
I agree. I definitely agree. I think when Mike Jordan come on TV, just like I said, with that, when he did that documentary, and that documentary, people just, everybody just wanted to watch it. They was glued to the TVs watching that documentary. I think once Mike come back on TV, I think it'll be the same thing. Even though like that documentary was done during like that the COVID time, right? And a lot of people, it didn't have stuff to do, but you just have so many Michael Jordan fans, diehard fans. Then you have people who are curious, who are going to be watching the games and watching his commentary and stuff like that, just to find out like what is Mike going to say about it, the game, the state of the game. Mike probably still won't get caught up in that GOAT conversation, because I don't think there's going to be a need for Mike to get caught up in that, right? This right here, LeBron James, while Mike is on TV and doing an NBC, he won't be able to run with that GOAT narrative. His like people like Nick Wright, people like, who's the other guy, Shannon Sharp, they won't be able to run with that narrative because Mike not going to get no pushback. But Mike being on TV, commentating is going to empower people even more. Like you see people coming out now. Recently, Nick Anderson said something about LeBron James and Michael Jordan, that GOAT conversation. Eddie House says something. I can name Allen Iverson. Reggie Miller, all those guys have commented and said, Charles Barkley said something. People gonna come out the woodwork. If LeBron James think that he can continue to control that narrative, it's gonna really get out of control. This will be the time where LeBron James he won't have no choice but to sit back and just watch, just watch watch the whole narrative just flip. Watch people just wash that nonsense down the drain about him being a GOAT, him being the king, and all that stuff. That's all that's going to get washed away. Like I said, Mike coming back, just Mike showing up on one of these networks and talking about, he don't even have to be good, a good commentator. Just like I don't think Tom Brady really need to be good. Like all Tom Brady need to do is be Tom Brady. He don't have to be Stephen A. Smith. He don't need any of those antics, and to throw around a whole bunch. Stephen A. need to do that because Stephen A. can't quarterback like Tom Brady. Stephen A. need to do that because he can't play basketball like Michael Jordan. So he need to perform. He need to put on an act. But Tom Brady and Michael Jordan, they just need to be Tom Brady and Michael Jordan. I think anybody in their right mind would prefer to listen. I don't care what Stephen A. Smith do or say. I would prefer to listen to Michael Jordan and Tom Brady talk about their sports than to listen to Stephen A. It just really, to me, it really don't. It's not even. It wouldn't even be close because I don't even listen to Stephen A. now. But if Tom Brady, he talking about like how he think the game should be played, I mean, it's just really, in my opinion, it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. And this right here, like I said, this move right here to bring Michael Jordan back to NBC, I think is calculated. And it's not just, this is just not like about Michael Jordan. This is about the NBA trying to reclaim, their spot as far as like how they used to be popular and how the NBA used to be, run. The NBA, it benefits the NBA to go back to the way things were. It benefits Nike. It benefits the sponsors for them to put out a better product. When you have Larry Bird had to go into the into the locker room during the All-Star game and give those guys a pep talk, encouraging them to play harder and put on a show for the fans. And then they go out there and score over 200 points. Not a good look. Not a good look. And so now, LeBron James and he didn't want to, he just didn't live up to, in my opinion, he didn't live up to his end of the bargain. Even though the NBA crowned him or said that he was the chosen one, it was still up to him to work hard and to be an ambassador for that sport. No way he should have went out there and just mailed it in just because he thought that, like he had the backing of the NBA, he had the backing of the sponsors, he can control the narrative. That formula right there did not work for the NBA. It didn't work for the sponsors. And so now, like I said, you got the NFL breathing down their neck. You have other sports besides the NFL that's getting, especially soccer. Soccer is really gaining in popularity because of we have more Hispanic people moving into this country, right? But football is not suffering because Hispanic people are moving. As a matter of fact, American football, and I'm not talking about soccer, but American football is gaining popularity even in Mexico. So and they televise the Super Bowl and the playoff games and all that stuff, even in Mexico. But don't nobody want to see, guys who don't play defense, guys who just run from one 3-point line to the other 3-point line and shoot threes. That's not interesting. I don't like that. And then and I haven't even talked about, now you have the WNBA. You know what I mean? Like they're gaining popularity because of some of the young stars that they have. people are so really turned off by the NBA that they're watching, like that's what's helping, in my opinion, that's what's helping the WNBA and all those other sports. People want to see good basketball, and so yeah, man, this right here is a calculated move. In my opinion, it's a strategic move by not just Michael Jordan, but the NBA and sponsors to right this ship. It take a few more years of what's going on now in the NBA. Football will be completely taken over. Soccer, hockey, the WNBA. And the NBA gonna lose sponsors. Or the sponsors gonna cut. The amount of money that they spend with the NBA. So they're gonna have to bring it back. They're gonna use these new young crop of new ball players to turn it around. They're gonna phase out all these old dudes, these player empowerment dudes, these dudes who want to move around from team to team, and or like I said, don't want to play no defense. Yeah, man, this is the big payback, man. This right here, they just ushering. The NBA and the sponsors, the powers that be, they are going to usher in a whole new era of basketball. And so that's why I said, man, this was strategic. It's not just about Michael Jordan. And so with that, that's my take on it. With that being said, make sure to like and subscribe. Also, leave a comment. Let me know what you think about this. Do you think, I'm reading a little bit too much into it? Or do you think this move is strategic? LeBron James, he don't even really want to retire, because once he retire, he won't have that NBA platform. He gonna try to play as long as he can play. But once he take those shoes off, once he take those sneakers off, man, it's gonna be a wrap. It's gonna be a wrap. The NBA and the sponsors, they're going to right that ship. And they don't have no choice but to right it, because it's a financial thing. So that's my take on it. Like I said, leave a comment. Let me know what you think about it. And with that being said, I'll check you all out in the next video. Peace.